magic of editing, you guys have no context of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, you better not be like half asleep and like, okay, I'm just gonna post
I'm just gonna post this, boom. And then they're like, whoa, new episode goes crazy.
Right?
All right, guys. So today we've had a recommendation from one of our gym buddies.
Yes.
So here's the context. So the concept of this episode comes from one of our gym friends. He watched one of our episodes and was like, you guys need to talk about friends with benefits properly, because people are not understanding what it actually is and how it actually works and the pros and cons of it. And we were like, yeah, you're right. And because everyone says they want friends with benefits, and then someone starts staying over and ordering Uber Eats and asking why you didn't text good morning. And then you're talking to each other thinking, are we casual, or are we in a relationship, or yeah. What's going on? So today we're going to talk about all the perks, the drawbacks, why most people don't actually want friends with benefits. They want the illusion of it. They want hookups, situationships. We're going to talk about all the nitty gritty today.
Okay.
So, first up, what is FWB actually supposed to be?
You fucking go.
Okay.
You do the deed.
Yeah.
And that's it. There should be no strings attached.
Okay.
So, but you and I had this talk, and it was just like, but you have the friends aspect, where it's like sometimes, I don't know about everybody, but sometimes some friends go out and they hang out, and they do stuff like go for a coffee, go for like a bite to eat or whatever, but they are just fucking as well.
Okay.
But I know that's probably not the context that.
Well, I'm actually gonna look up the destination. The definition. Friends with benefits.
Yes.
Urban Dictionary. Now, before I say that.
Yes. What is your
friends with benefits to me has always been that you guys are friends.
Yes.
We're assuming, okay, for the context for everybody here, we're assuming a hetero relationship. Okay. In this day and age, everybody has their own different strokes for different folks.
Yes.
So, but we're talking heterosexual in this case. So, in my instance, it's always been that you and in my case, it would be a female counterpart, have chemistry.
Yeah.
Are attracted to each other.
Yeah.
Don't want any relationship, but enjoy each other and want to scratch an itch. Mm-hmm. So you're not in relationships. You're not doing the whole hookup, fuck buddy affair business. Mm-hmm. It's purely like we're friends. We enjoy each other's company, and we help each other get off every once in a while or whenever we need it.
Right.
That's always been my case. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Here's the exact definition.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Two friends who trust each other enough to engage in sexual activity without fear of hurting the other's feelings. Ideal scenario for folk who are not interested in a serious relationship or do not have time for one. Not a boyfriend or girlfriend. Neither party has to refrain from dating other people. Also, not a word tool for a player to have sex with women he does not care about.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a smart alternative to random hookups.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of basically what we sort of said.
Mm-hmm. The next definition is two close friends who think it would be fun to have sex with each other again and again until one falls in love and gets their heart broken when the other doesn't want a relationship. So the pre-context of this and the episode that our friend there, Mr. D, liked or was watching, I think I had talked about how friends with benefits is kind of fucked up because there's only two ways it ends. Either you get into a relationship or you both fucking hate each other. Because somebody always catches feelings. Mm-hmm. And so what we didn't go into properly, though, is the next point.
Okay.
Which is, what are the perks of friends with benefits? Because we talked about what the end is.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about what the end is, how it doesn't work, all the problems from it, and why it causes problems. But what are the perks of friends with benefits? Well.
I think with friends with benefits, it's like, yeah, like if you have an itch, no matter what time of the day or night, whatever, you could basically rely on them to like fucking get off and do your thing, right? And it's just like, it's like there's no commitment, there's no There's no like lovey-dovey. There's no cuddling. Supposedly, I've heard that that's wrong. There can be cuddling, but
You're not supposed to be cuddling.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to be spooning. You're not supposed to be doing any of that thing. You
Not
just
supposed
go
to be staying
in.
over.
Yeah, no stayovers. No cooking breakfast together. None of that shit.
Because that's when it starts to go into the relationship.
Yeah, you basically just go, like I said, smash, do your thing, and then bounce. That's it. Until the next time. You talk here and there on the phone, whatever the case may be. But your bottom line is to like just do that. You're not supposed to have these, conversations about like how you're feeling and get emotionally attached. None of that. None of that.
Well, I think what it gets into, because my whole thing talking to our friend there.
Yes.
Who knows who he is, but we won't out him. I think we already outed him, but so let me also just make sure this is recording, because last time it didn't record all the way. So the problem with friends with benefits is that people naturally, as they open up sexually and intimately with somebody, they naturally want to include all those things, like staying over, cooking breakfast, doing all those things. They naturally want that to continue.
Yes.
And this is where people get friends with benefits wrong, I'll say. It's not wrong, it's just you start creeping into...
I just got a message about one of our posts. This post.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the response. From...
Yeah.
Yes.
The episode that just went live, the response to it was
to fuck.
So if you guys go look at that episode, and,
you'll know.
And he's right. He's right. Among other things. Yeah. So what was my whole point? So yeah, the perk of friends with benefits is you just, it's like the whole slogan 439 all pizza and elephant.
But yes, I know that.
Well, it's like you can order a pizza whenever you want. Same concept. It's like, you know what? I'd really like to get my rocks off right now. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, I'll be over in 5. Okay. I'll jump in the shower.
Right?
And like I was talking, it's actually funny. I was having a business meeting last night.
Yes.
And it's a business meeting with once the clientele left, it was me and my buddy, and we were having a drink before we left, and so we work together, but we get to talk about all the things. And so I told him about this whole thing that came up about friends with benefits, and he's an older guy, so he's got lots of experience, and so he was telling me all about it.
Okay.
And he was saying, his take on it? His whole take is like, he's like, friends with benefits is awesome because I can go. He's like, when I was younger, I could go to the bar, I could strike out with any women, and I know that at the end of the night, beep, boop, boop,
oh yeah, you told me. Yeah.
Hey, I'll be over in 5.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. He could swing for the fences. If he missed, oh well, whatever. It doesn't matter. And yeah, I think that's the perk. But also another big perk too is that it's somebody you trust.
Yeah.
Somebody you actually, hopefully you fulfill the friends part.
Yeah.
Where it's like you actually enjoy them.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's like, it's not your fuck buddy. Friends with benefits isn't a fuck buddy.
Okay.
It's not the whole affair, just somebody you can get your rocks off and forget. There is a little bit more to it.
Okay.
So, and then a situationship would be more into it. Do you disagree with that?
No, I don't.
Sip of water as you answer it.
Put some music in there while you do. No, no, I don't think there really is a difference. I think you're pretty much like on the ball about it.
But there is a difference. Fuck buddy versus friends with benefits.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying
there is a difference, but I'm talking about like how what you're saying is like there's differences. So yes, there is like for sure.
Dumb.
Like, are you even asking? You just like took it.
No, I knew
I had. Gentlemanlike.
I knew I had the other. Oh, I was about to say. Oh my god, I knew I had another pack, and then I was like, oh, am I really gonna be like the guy who goes gum? And then you're like, okay.
No. So I mean, you're right. Like there are differences, right? Like it goes more levels or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there's tiers. And I mean, at the end of the day, friends with benefits is somebody that you actually enjoy as a person. And you're trusting, like the definition, you're trusting, you care about them enough that that you feel comfortable to interact in that. But at the same time, you have to be careful because this is where people fall into the trap. So the perk is it's somebody that you trust. It's not some random person that you don't know what the fuck you're catching. And it's somebody that you could go out for lunch with.
Yeah.
Which is always weird, but it's kind of funny.
You're talking about the friends with benefits.
Yeah. No, it was so funny because
this is what our friend said. You don't do that. Not with friends with
he
benefits.
said he agreed with that.
Oh, he did?
He said you can go out for lunch, but no staying over, no
Oh,
cuddling.
okay.
It was like no intimacy. He's like,
Okay.
I ain't staying over and making breakfast in the morning.
Okay,
He's like,
okay.
we're not doing that.
Okay.
We're finishing up and leaving.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
But,
you did say, yeah. Okay.
but because you're friends, you can go out for lunch. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go
yeah.
out and do things. You can hang out with people.
Yeah.
I remember it was really funny because me and my buddy were doing that with two girls, like one each. And I remember there was like one time where we were at lunch in that friend circle, and it was like me, him, and then the two girls, and then a bunch of other people. And it was like we were all chatting casually, and I like lean over to my buddy. I'm like, "Isn't this so fucked? Like, we all know what we're gonna do after." And everybody else is like, we're all joking around and laughing. And he goes, "Don't hate the play, I hate the game." And what else did I write here? Consistent physical connection without full relationship pressure, which is there's something poetically beautiful about that.
Okay.
Comfort versus random hookups. Somebody that you're learning about them, they're learning about you. They know how to do it.
But it's hard because it's like that. Sometimes things blur the lines.
Oh, well, that's what we're going to talk about next.
There's a lot of gray area.
There's a lot of gray area. That's the hard part with it.
Yeah.
So you have to be really clear. I mean, that was what our friend also said, is you got to be so clear about the boundaries, and you have to stick to the boundaries.
Yeah.
As soon as you start to blur the boundaries, you got to have a conversation.
Okay, but I had a conversation about this, and they were like, you should just do whatever you need to do. You shouldn't have to have expectations. Boundaries are like, you really shouldn't really kind of have
Who said
them.
this? Your friend?
Yeah.
Okay. I disagree with him. You have to voice your boundaries.
Well, that's
otherwise
what I
you take advantage
said.
of it.
I was like, you should have that conversation of like, okay, like if we're gonna do this, it's just strictly this. Like we're not.
You have to communicate. And you know what? A younger, less mature version of Nason would have disagreed and said, no, people should respect and know your boundaries and all this shit. But that's like being like, oh, now he's going to pick me up and we're going to go out for dinner at 6:00. And then I don't tell you to come pick me up and go for dinner at 6:00. I just get upset that you didn't come and pick me up and take me to dinner at 6:00. And then I'm like, and then you see me at the gym and I'm like ignoring you and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, we were supposed to go for dinner at 6:00 and you didn't pick me up and go for dinner. I was just sitting there all ready to go. And you're like, you never fucking told me nothing about dinner at 6:00. No, well, you should have known. And you're like, what the fuck?
The day that we ever, knock on wood, you and I ever get into an argument, like a really bad one, the whole fucking gym's gonna know. The whole fucking gym's gonna know.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because they're going to be like, so Nathan, have you talked to Ali? I'll be like, no, fuck that bitch.
Right?
I
Right?
would never say that.
You're on one side of the fucking gym, I'm on the other side of the
And I'll be like,
gym.
you stay over there. You stay over there. Don't make me swing on you.
I don't think we would ever, but I'm telling you, if we ever got into a really huge argument over whatever, everybody
That's
would
right.
know.
Like I'd take your man or something. Why aren't you talking to Nathan? He went out with my man. You're like, everyone's like, what the fuck is going on with you guys? I actually don't know what it would be, but who knows? Maybe there would be something.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and then fun.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Fun, low stakes dynamic is the last perk I put.
Okay.
Or I put flexibility and independence, and then
Yes.
fun, low stake dynamics, and then in brackets I put in theory. It's a benefit to a relationship without the responsibility. Because they're a friend, you're having sex with them, but you're not all committed in the ways that you usually have to be.
Yeah.
Now, the other part. What are the drawbacks?
Emotional.
Excuse me.
Somebody gets
Catches
attached.
feelings. catches
Yeah.
feelings, boundaries blur fast,
Yeah.
jealousy with no right to express it.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
The what are we energy creeps
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, agreeing with our friend there, it's like, you can do the friend stuff, you can do the intimate, the fuck buddy, friends with benefits part, that.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as it starts turning into this, where it's like, oh, okay, well, we had sex and, we're friends, so yeah, we could watch a movie on the couch and hang out. Then it starts turning into, kind of.
Start leaving my toothbrush here.
That's right. Well, I'm here all the time. I might as well have my little toiletry bag.
Socks over here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's that hoodie you're wearing? That's that looks like Nason's hoodie.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
No, we just have the same hoodie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never been to wherever. It's just when it starts turning into where you're spending more time together. Yeah, like you really gotta have the boundaries in the buckets because we're like, okay, before in the world we had, you're not in a relationship, you're in a relationship with the intention to marry, most likely. That was before.
Yes.
Now in this day and age, it's you're not in a relationship, you're seeing people, you're dating. Is it dating next?
Dating, yeah.
Yeah, dating, seeing someone.
Yeah, no, it's talking stages. My daughter says you're in the talking stages.
Okay, so dating,
Yeah.
talking stage,
Yeah.
seeing someone,
Yeah.
seeing someone exclusive, and then dating exclusive.
Yeah.
And now, if we were to put it in there, before that is fuck buddy, friends with benefits,
Yeah.
like, and so because you're turning, like, we'll call it like it's only this, like the whole relationship table, or like what's it called, plotting point, or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
is this big. And so before it was 2 categories.
Yeah, but no.
Now it's like slivers, right? So you
Yeah.
really got to be careful about the boundary because it's so easy to fall from friends with benefits
To the
into
next.
situationship,
Yeah.
into talking stages, into dating, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and then the
exactly.
problem is that when you start slipping into them, one person starts getting confused because they're like, oh, I can't wait till we go out for dinner and see that movie and do this,
yeah.
and then that person starts feeling some type of way about it, and then you're like, they're like, they call and they say, hey, are we gonna go out for that movie? Oh, I'm on a date right now, like.
But don't you think somebody, if they were to approach the person that they were fucking and it said, hey, I'm starting to have feelings, don't you think that would hurt that person if the other person said, you know what? That's
Or hit him with the fuck.
yeah.
I don't know though.
I think that person would have a hard time. First off, I think the person that has those feelings would have a hard time expressing them, considering the fact that it started off as A, but now because other things have happened and you've experienced things together, A has now become E, F, G, whatever the case down the line. So I think
H-I-J-K, elemental, yeah.
So I think that person that is developing those feelings would have a hard time being vocal
Well,
in general about it because most of the time the other person will probably be like, this is not it. This is not
Right.
this. I'm sorry. Like, thank you. I appreciate you having feelings and whatever, but I'm not looking for that. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not ready for that. I know whatever stupid shit they gotta say, but
yeah, but that's, yeah.
it's always hard for the person because, like you said, we've always maintained communicating is important. Communicating is important, but if it's communicating to the point that you get broke, it hurts. This is why I say to myself, whatever situation I'm in, I want to know where I stand, because it's like I don't want to be hurt, and I am now old enough to know how I operate in terms of like my feelings and how I can easily sometimes delve into it when I don't mean to, but things just happen
Yeah.
and things develop, right? And this is like human nature. A lot of people can't, unless you have that thick skin and you kind of compartmentalize and be like, no, you separate it in your head. Like, this is strictly that and that's it. And
Yeah.
you maintain that status quo. Well, the problem is sometimes I find that both, if that, can be very confused. Both parties can be very confused.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it comes back to just communicating and making sure that you're both on the same page.
Well, the problem is that's what I'm saying is like the person that has the feelings is gonna have a hard time communicating that because they don't want to know they know that the answer could always just be flat out no. So then you're crushed. Like, you know what I mean?
But I think that's where you have to reiterate 100%. You have to be like, if we're doing this, this is how things are going to go. Like, if I was to partake in it with any girl now, with what I understand from past experiences and everything, I would say, like, if we're going to do this, it's never going to go into a relationship. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, obviously you tell them what it is.
Yeah.
And if it is potentially going to be a relationship, I probably wouldn't even do the friends with benefits thing. I would just actively pursue them, right?
Yeah.
So assuming that relationships is never in the cards,
yeah.
I would say to them, like, we're never going to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. This is something we're doing because we both want to get our rocks off and whatever, and we trust each other.
Yeah.
So if you start to catch feelings, you need to tell me. Because then either we can explore it and talk about it, or we got to cut it off.
But what happens if you express your feelings and you say how you feel, but then that person doesn't respond to that statement?
Well, then I think they're breaching the contract. You can't not communicate. That's not how that works. If you enter a business agreement, and you're 50%, you own 50% of the business. If you're making a big business decision and you say, "Hey, this is what I think from my 50%," if they don't reply, they're violating their business agreement. They have to put in their 50% of the thought. So if you go, "Nathan, I want to take it to the next level," and I go, and just like don't respond. That's not fair.
So if you don't respond, is that an assumption that you're humming about it, or you're just don't know what to say, or
well, it could be anything. It could be any of those things. The problem is silence is the worst answer.
But then wouldn't you at least at some point have to come up and
you know what? Here's the thing.
And say something at some point.
Here's the thing. The silence is a reflection of realizing that feelings are being caught, and they don't want any of that, but they want to keep things how they are. And my whole point here is you have to be a big enough man or a big enough woman or a big enough whatever to say, okay, then we better stop.
Yeah.
Because what we get into is human nature, the fact that they still want it. For so sure. If you say, "Oh, Nathan, I'm catching feelings, we're fooling around, we're doing this," and then I go, "Ah!" That's me thinking, okay, well, I like this. I like the benefit of this. I want it to continue.
Yes.
But I don't want to approach the fact that I don't want anything else. So then you get dragged along. And this is the danger of friends with benefits.
Well, that's the problem. But this is why I said it's like it's so important to communicate those things. But the problem is communication lacks so much on so many different spectrums of it. That's what I'm saying. It's like in the beginning, it's fine. It's hunky-dory. Everything's great. But then as things go along, and you like I said, you experience things with that person that you've never experienced before, or you never thought that you would experience, because it's a different capacity, a different relationship, whatever you want to call it, type of relationship. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, okay, I can kind of deal with this.
Well, this is where we're talking. You're sitting in the gray boundary now, because it's not you've left the friends with benefits side. Because friends with benefits, I think part of being a friend, the friend part, is that you always know where you stand with the person. The benefit is the sex, but you're still a friend at the core of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, even that, the girl I was telling you who mentioned the whole friends with benefits thing to me, if I went into doing that with her, we'd have to be because we work in that relatively same space.
Yeah.
You have to be so careful about it. You could do it.
Yeah.
But it would have to be if you're all done and everything, and I'm putting my trousers on and putting my boots on. I'm getting ready to leave, and she hits me with the, "What are we?" I'm gonna have to be like, we're nothing. We're nothing, and we're done at this point, because that's when it starts falling into another area. And then if I don't want anything and she wants something, well, she's never going to get it from me because I don't want it.
But then, okay, so I get you on that. But then so you're saying that it's wrong if the person doesn't say something, because now it's almost like leading them on.
It is leading them on. Yeah. Yeah. You're withholding information from them because you like the transaction, but you don't want to answer them because you might lose the transaction.
Well, then that's just the chance you just got to take.
But this is the whole point.
You know what I mean? It's
You
just
have
like,
to, but you have to put. Yeah, it just goes back to communication. You got to just put it back in their court. You got to say like, look, I don't want a relationship. I never want a relationship. I like our arrangement.
Yeah.
But if you're catching feelings, then we can't do the arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go, okay, I'm fine. Maybe you'll twist. Maybe your brain will be like, okay, well, I have to separate. Or maybe you'll go like, you know what? I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm developing feelings and I want to continue and I want to grow, and you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it is hard because that's why I try to be as transparent as I possibly can in whatever situation and try to like lay it out because it's like I don't, you know me, when it comes down to me and how I am as a person, I know my own feelings and I know that they can run very deep with me as a person. So I don't like having that heavy on my chest. I don't like that heavy on my back. Yeah. So I would rather, whatever outcome happens, I would rather say how I'm feeling and express that, and it's up to that person to.
That's it.
To take it, not take it, walk away, whatever.
That's the best. Yeah, honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
The big takeaway I put here is friends with benefits only works when both people are emotionally aligned.
Yeah.
And that's the rare, tricky part.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning it's fine, but it's a very narrow middle path. Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to teeter if you're not careful. Now, what our friend at the gym said about being very critical about like, we'll do it, but after we're done, we're gone. Not sleeping over, not doing breakfast.
Yeah.
If we're interacting as friends, let's interact as friends.
Yeah.
But if we're doing that, we're doing that.
Yeah.
So being very specific about.
Yeah.
And I think that's the safest way to do it, because you make sure that you're always on the same page, you're always communicating about it, and you're allowing the emotional intimacy to blur, but on the friendship side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose that would be correct, yes.
Now, a fun little comparison.
Oh.
Friends with benefits versus hookup versus situationship.
Oh, Lord.
What's the difference?
I don't know. They are like so fucked up. All of them are fucked up, okay? Like.
All right.
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I got them. I got it. I got the research down.
Okay.
Hookup. Yeah. One off, no emotional layer.
Okay, yeah.
Friends with benefits. Ongoing, friendly, physical.
Okay.
We know, you know what I mean by physical. Situationship.
Yeah.
Emotional, physical, but undefined chaos.
Oh, I hate that.
But that's where chaos. Situationship is like the ugly duckling.
Ugh.
You know, everything's fine, things are good, beautiful swan.
Yeah.
And then, what the hell? You know, it was all good. We would see each other once a week. We'd catch a movie. We'd bang. We'd do whatever. And now we don't know how we feel about each other.
But I told you that happened with the person I was with, and I was like, we had one conversation about being in a relationship, and they said, okay, yeah, I'll try, but it was never like. I never said, okay, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, when we got into an argument, they were like, I tried. I said, you tried what? Being in a relationship. I said, when? When did we agree that we were in that relationship?
We were in a relationship?
We talked about it. You said you tried, but we never stated, okay, now it's official. Now we're in a relationship. So I was like, he's going around telling his friends, oh yeah, my girl, who the fuck? And then people would come up to me like, oh, so I heard you're so-and-so's girlfriend. I'm like, huh? When did that conversation happen? Because I'm like, I checked out somewhere I didn't know.
And this is the extreme case of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, and then like that was the worst because it was like on and off. Does he like me? He really likes me. I really think he does. He has feelings for me. We share so much. We're so emotionally attached. He tells me so many things. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, but after everything is said and done, I was just like, it didn't really feel like an actual true like relationship.
Let's sit at the high top.
I'm not talking about that one.
It's not that one? Who are we talking about? Oh, no.
You know who.
Oh.
The long one. The longest one.
Copy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was never a situationship.
No, that was a wackuationship. And the big takeaway is most people aren't in friends with benefits. They're in a situationship with better branding. And a little marketing ploy there. So this is the weird thing for me, okay? Like, when I think of friends with benefits,
Yeah.
it is truly friends with benefits. It's like they're your friend,
Yeah.
and you can go out and have a coffee with them and talk to them candidly.
Yeah.
And then it's like, zip, woo. That's authentically that. Because then when you start turning into this whole, yeah, come over and, you know, stay over for the night and all, it's not that ain't that's an affair or a fuck buddy or a situationship.
Okay.
Like the best example, a good buddy of mine when we were in university together, there was this girl, and you know he called her friends with benefits. No fucking way that was a friends with benefits. They were just in a relationship without a label.
So then what do you call
Because he was
that?
taking
What do
her
you
out
call
for
that?
that's a relationship without a label. It's a situationship.
Okay.
It was like-
Because what was he doing? He was taking her out?
He would take her out for dinner, and he'd stay the night, and he'd make her breakfast, and he would do all these and have sex with her and do all these, and he's like, yeah, she's a friends with benefits. I can do what I want. It's like,
No,
nah, you guys are just fucked
can't.
up.
Yeah, you can't. You can't,
Yeah.
because with me and him, we would do that. I would stay over, and
Yeah.
then we would make breakfast together, or I would make breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
or he'd be like, hey, you want to come over next weekend and we can make breakfast together? Sure, let's go and do that. But I'm like, fuck. I'm like, and it was great. Like, it was amazing, but it was just like,
Yeah, friends with benefits, it's a very, very niche. But also, so my argument with our friend at the gym, not argument, but like my
Your point?
disagreement.
Your
Yeah, my
disagreement?
disagreement would say friends with benefits is always going to naturally have an emotional edge to it because you're friends. And so there is going to be an intimacy. And then when people open up physically, there is going to be some element of cuddling and fucking of support in terms of that way. But yeah, you got to be a little bit cut about it, because that's the tricky part.
I know.
And
No, go ahead.
no, you finish your thought.
No,
'cause
no.
I'll go into a different.
No, I'm just saying that it's hard because, like I said, it's just too many things happen and can happen where it now starts to like become shades of gray,
Yeah.
and that's the issue.
Would you say 50 shades of gray?
I'd say 50,
Oh.
possibly.
Oh.
Shades of gray.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, anything can happen, right? But
Yeah.
it's just yeah. Like I don't know. Like I think a lot of people get confused after a while. Where
think naturally.
like what in terms of like where are we? We started off here, but now we're like
Well,
here.
because I mean, when people start talking about friends with benefits, I always think of this scenario, and this is what puts me back to, if you're not interested in pursuing them or being in a relationship with them, you shouldn't go further than this, right? Because I always think of it like this: you're done having sex, you're laying in bed together, and it's like we're not talking like for hours. We're talking like you just finished having sex.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to have an emotional moment when you're bonding with the person.
Right.
Because you both got your rocks off, you're both feeling good, whatever, you're hot and steamy and sweaty in the room, all the good stuff. You know, buy my audiobook. Yeah. I narrate 50 Shades down. You're all sweaty and whatever. Obviously, you're going to have a moment there, and that's the start of the dangerous moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because naturally, now, no matter how good friends you are, naturally, you've now passed the barrier of where friendship usually lays.
Yeah, I guess so.
And this is the thing. I mean, even like the girl I was telling you, who I work with, who was talking about that. It's like, the problem with it is now you've experienced me and I've experienced you in a way that I would never experience you from a friendship side.
That's
so
right.
naturally, we're always going to be more than that.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have some level of trust that extends past what the normal trust threshold is.
Yes.
And that's fine, but this is where the confusion happens, because now you're like, actually, I really like laying with Nathan after sex. It's like, and then I'm like, it'd be great to date him. And then I'm like, whoa, fuck that. And then you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And then you feel used and abused and whatever else.
Oh no, but this is why it's like I feel bad for people that start off where it starts off so innocently in terms of like you know where you lie,
Yeah.
you know where it is, and then it just kind of goes whack and shit.
Right. Well, I mean, I have a crazy story. I don't know if I can tell him on camera, though. Okay. Unnamed person. You don't know their relation to me. A guy I consulted one time. That's anonymous enough. He knows exactly. Okay. He was fooling around with this girl. I knew the girl actually really well. She was a good friend of mine. A good friend of mine that I talked to one time in some random area in a different place. Now they're
Okay.
confused, so they won't know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
So 2 people I knew. They were fooling around, fuck buddies, whatever. And then one day, I just like stopped hearing from the girl. I
Okay.
heard from the guy, but he didn't say anything about her and whatever. Well, she shows up randomly and she looks disheveled, awful, terrible. Oh, just dealing with things, whatever. Okay, you're obviously dealing with more than things. Like, you look fucked up. Well, well, they got a little too comfortable with one another. She got pregnant, had an abortion. And she was fucked.
No. Oh no!
Fuck. I mean, abortion ruins women.
Yeah.
Ruins women, like emotionally.
It
like,
can. Yeah, it can.
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, the reason he cut it off is because she told him.
That she had an
Yeah,
abortion.
yeah. I mean, he wanted it, but then he was like, "Oh, okay, we've passed the line. Fuck you," and he cut it off.
Yeah,
so I don't
yeah.
agree with him on how he handled it.
Yeah.
But it was like that was when it turned into, and then she was forever scarred. I'm sure.
Oh no.
No.
Why are you looking at me?
So, anyways,
So
why do people say they want friends with benefits but act like they're in a relationship?
Because it's friends with
Let me just-
pause.
because
because friends with benefits is it's great, but you don't have the commitment. You don't
right.
have
You
have that responsibility of the, hey, I'm going out with my friends. Okay, where are you going? Oh, we're going out here. I'll call you back later. I'm gonna text you later. I'll text you blah blah blah. You don't have any of that. You have no like responsibilities. You have no commitment. You don't need to check in. You don't need to do any of those things. You don't need to do anything that's relationship-y type of behaviors, I guess.
yeah, you don't have to buy them Christmas presents.
Nope.
You don't have to buy them birthday. You don't have to take them out for dates. You don't have to.
Nope.
You don't have to
do
romantically
that.
woo them. And so they're getting the wifey. They're getting the wifey service on the friend salary. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. No wonder people want it. And it's
That's
affection, it's consistency, it's emotional closeness. What else I got here? Attention.
That's sad.
But they avoid commitment labels.
Yeah.
Accountability is a
It's
big one.
sad. that this
It's
is the
controlled
world.
intimacy.
Yeah, it's sad that the world is like that, to be honest.
It is terrible, isn't it?
Because it's like, why would you not? Honestly, I always think to myself, it's like, why would somebody not want to feel love? I get it. We are people who enjoy. A lot of people enjoy toxicity a lot. A lot of people are
Can learn all
fucked
about
up.
that on my other channel.
Stay toxic.
Stay toxic, my friends. The Dozakis guy.
A lot of people like that toxicity. A lot of people like that whole, feeling of just kind of like do whatever with whoever. Like, and so many people are so burned from past experiences.
This is the core here.
And that's the problem. It's just, I get it. I understand that. But it's just, again, I think we talked about this in many of our other conversations and in many of our other podcasts. It's like, if you have this really good vibe with somebody and you're really starting to feel those things for somebody, maybe not necessarily have to say it out loud, but it's just like, try. There's nothing wrong. There's no hurt in trying. Everybody gets burned. Everybody gets their heart broken many times over. Sometimes people only have that one love that they will ever have in their entire life. Sure. And there's been many stories about that, right? And that's okay, but there's nothing wrong to love somebody and to give yourself wholeheartedly to somebody else who fully right is going to do the exact same for you and be your safe space, be your home. Oh boy, I said that word. Be your home, be your place of like comfort and like at ease and make you feel like I'm wanted, I'm needed, I'm accepted for who I am. You know what I mean? And like all the flaws that I have, even though we get into arguments, you still love me and I still love you. Why? I don't understand why the world is so broken that it just spills out to having like serious like what do you call it? Relationships that are exclusive. I don't understand why we are in this world of all these other things, and sometimes those other things are supposed to supposedly be easy, but sometimes those are the ones that are the hardest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's this one of the things I wanted to say, as you were saying your whole piece there, was it's better to have loved and lost than to never loved at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, a big thing with this world, I mean, I think everybody, like you said, is traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the big problem is you have people going out and initiating these things, but then you have people accepting these things.
Well,
because everybody's just trying to get the little piece of love that they can. Yeah. And I mean, like, really, I think because it's so accessible and so easy to throw these, like, secondary labels that we've call relationships or some form of relationships, we've made it so easy to throw those labels on it and get it all and turn something into turn a relationship into something that's dumbed down on it. And I get it. I mean, like, hey, everybody enjoys it good to get their, blow their load and do whatever. Everybody loves that. But the problem is when you start meddling with everybody's emotions, and then you ruin it for the next person.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, you either ruin it for the next person or you're the placeholder for that next person.
That's right.
Who happens to be the person that now they want to be in a relationship with.
That's right.
Now they decide, you know what? I was with Natalie, but now all of a sudden I met this beautiful woman. She's everything that I wanted. But I was the one that built you up for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe I won't know that, but like...
No,
like,
but
it was before, like, it was right after me, and I found out or whatever. It's like, that was me. You were with me. I showed you what it was like. Like, my girlfriend told me one time, she said to me, she's like, you know what? If you're with somebody, she's like, show them that you're a woman that knows how to love. Mm-hmm. Show the guy that, that you can still feel that, and that you're a woman that you, and how to love again. And there's only so much that I can do. But it's like my emotions come out, right? You know what I mean? Like, if I feel something for somebody, sometimes I kind of like hide in my shell. But then when I feel comfortable enough, I express those things. And it's up to that person to whether take it and like do like what you did, what your friend did with the rose and fucking crumble it up and throw it away. Or like actually embrace it and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm feeling what you're feeling. Let's give it a go. Like, let's try.
Yeah.
It's so bad that things that are simple, like situations, all of those things, friends with benefits, can sometimes be the most difficult.
Well, they're the most difficult because you're trying to get a relationship without getting a relationship.
But yeah.
It's like fixing a car with half the parts.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to have fucking issues.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing it properly.
Yeah.
And so... everybody thinks they can get... it's the whole idea that people think they can get away with it. And it's like, you can get away with it for a time, but it's really hard to do things half-assed. Because eventually it catches up to you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of people are placeholdering for the love of their life.
But I don't like that because I feel bad. I feel like you used me to get to where you needed to go.
Yeah, and I think that's very common.
That's how I would feel.
I think that people are just so lonely. I think that's what it is. People are so lonely that they don't really care how they're impacting people, as long as they can, have the intimacy and have everything.
Yeah, but that's not a good way to do that either. Because don't you realize that people that you come across and you're having certain relations with, it's like emotionally you don't know how that person is feeling.
That's right.
Like, I'm not saying I'd get fucked up, but you don't know if you ever were to like leave that type of situationship or whatever, you don't know if that person's gonna go fucking buck wild nuts, like insane. Like I don't mean good insane. I mean like fucking, I'm fucked up because of what I was just going through. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's pretty bad. Like mentally, for a lot of people, it's not a good spot for a lot of people to be in. They just happen to be put in that position.
Yeah. Well, and this is where I like, you get offered scenarios or you have these ideas come across.
Yeah.
Where somebody might be like, oh, I'm not opposed to friends with benefits, saying it to you.
Yeah.
And that's where I always reflect and I go, sure, but like, am I really going to benefit off this enough that it's worth knowing that there's going to be emotional issues down the line?
I mean,
like I might say in the moment, you might be like, oh, fuck yeah. But then when it's midnight and you guys are arguing about nonsense, is that worth it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to do a bit of a rant here. So, we already talked about the friend thing.
Yeah.
Friends with benefits means you can do friends thing.
Yeah.
Like dinner, hanging out, all of that.
Yeah.
And so, yes, because friends with benefits isn't just physical. It's physical plus familiarity, the whole friendship thing. Uh-huh. So, and then I did this whole analysis and breakdown. So, this is where it breaks.
Okay.
Dinner turns into expectations. right? Hanging out turns into consistency. Comfort turns into attachment. So the problem with those things is you're not just hooking up every once in a while. You're building the emotional habits.
Yeah.
And that's what sneaks up on you because you don't realize how much. And I mean, the girl who crushed the rose, I mean, my fuck up there was the fact that I was building consistency. And so that was where if I was to now analyze that problem, it would be the fact that that's what I was doing. I was building consistency, and I was building expectations, and I was building attachment. And so when all that hit all at once, that was the icing on the cake. She saw that episode, eh?
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw her at a screening event.
I'm sure
and
she
then
had
she
some
asked me
words.
about it. Oh, she was actually pretty chill about it. She was like, "So, I saw your podcast," and I went, "Okay." I was like, "Who showed you that?" And she goes, "My sources." And she goes, "I didn't know you felt that way." I was like, "I think I made that pretty obvious, but okay." She's like, "We can always hang out."
Oh yeah, no.
Copy
And you're
that.
like, would you?
No, fuck no.
Okay.
Well,
to
maybe.
just have another roast tattoo on your face again.
Wow, no,
You're
this
going
time I would go back and do it right. Lay pipe and leave. That's right. Take her to the drilling platform.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, and then the reality check is most people think friends with benefits is chill, easy, no feelings. But the problem is it always becomes daily texting, sleepovers, emotional support, jealousy.
But not always. There
Okay, yeah, no, you are right. It's not always.
not
but
always, but sometimes.
Most
Yes.
of the time. And then I wrote here, if you're cuddling after, it's already complicated.
Well, apparently I was told there's nothing wrong with cuddling after.
Yeah, from a guy who wants the emotional support, of course.
Like,
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
the problem too with this question though is when you talk to people, very rarely are you going to get somebody who's actually critically answering it. Because I'll be the first to say, like, there's nothing worse than feeling like,
Yeah.
oh my
going.
God, speaking of that,
No.
you're just gonna answer that while we're doing a podcast. little throwback there. The problem, I don't even know what my train of thought was. My problem, the problem with this question is you learn very quickly what the person wants out of a relationship.
Yes.
Because they're saying, "Oh, that's no problem," but it's like, "Hey, I like cuddling after sex as much as the next guy."
Yeah.
Nothing like the one going, "Poor baby." Whatever. You get the fucking emotional intimacy. Nothing better than that. But I can be objective and say, yeah, that's obviously going to build some connection. But then also, like, my argument too, if somebody's like, "Oh, cuddling is not okay," and whatever, I'm like, and what? You're supposed to throw cash on the bed and be like, "All right, have a good night, you whore," and then walk away?
No,
Like,
just roll off and roll off and like shower, whatever.
yeah, and then gone.
Yeah.
Like you hired a whore. Okay, copy.
Listen, I'm just.
Oh, hey, you're just being devil's advocate. I get you.
Talking. I'm just saying, right?
saying.
Like, I'm just saying.
No, it turns into this weird thing, and then it's like, you're friends, but then you have to like shut off. It kind of gets into this. I was told this thing where if you go into the handbook on polygamy, the first all of it is just talking about how to suppress your instinct that what you're doing is wrong. Which is hilarious to me. It's like, polygamy is so much better than monogamy, but you have to just like change your entire brain structure to do it.
That takes too much effort for me to do. That's too
It's
much
fucked.
energy.
If something is like, hey, everything you do in this instance, your body's going to tell you it's a bad idea, just ignore that. It's like, what are you talking about?
That's like your whole core of your ethics and your beliefs and
yeah.
everything.
So, yeah. My whole point there is, like the problem is that you see people, you reveal what they want out of it.
Yeah.
So you have the guys who don't care about, they're like, no, fuck cuddling. It's like, okay, they don't care about cuddling.
Yeah.
But they're like, but it'd be nice for her to make me breakfast. Okay, so you like somebody cooking for you and taking care of you.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's your preference, right?
Yes.
And then you have the guys who are like, oh, whatever, it can be like a relationship, no problem. And it's like, okay, so you just want a relationship without expectation. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last question before we go into a little chaotic scenario round.
Okay.
When does friends with benefits become unhealthy?
Oh, what? When does it become unhealthy?
Mm-hmm.
When you're leaning on to me, I think it's when you're leaning way
I
too
think
much.
we kind of went through this.
Yeah.
One person wants more.
Yeah, always.
Boundaries are unclear.
Yeah.
It becomes a placeholder.
Yeah.
Literally what you said, and you're staying out of comfort.
Yeah.
And if you're confused more than you're comfortable, it's not working.
Yeah. So if anybody can vouch for any of these things that we have said thus far, it would be nice to know, because clearly our friend at the gym was like, I guarantee you guys are going to have lots of people saying different things all over the place. And I'm like, yeah.
I've been asking people. I'm excited to ask a specific person, but they're out of the country right now.
Oh, okay.
So when they get back, I'll ask them.
Yes, and do tell the answer.
All the men I've asked are so funny. So okay, and we'll do a. Do we do this one? Okay, we'll do chaotic scenario round. Okay. So this assumes you're in a friends with benefits scenario.
Okay.
Actually, you'll be a great authority on this.
Oh my! Why? Why?
You'll see.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a scenario.
Okay.
And you tell me your initial thought process.
All right.
Okay. Ready and
scene.
All right. Oh, no, not scene. Or you should say and action.
Okay. Action.
That's right. The clapper. Yeah. Scene 1A. Take 3. Marker. They start getting jealous. What now?
You have to have a talk. For me,
yeah.
I'd have to have a talk.
I'd be like, whoa.
I'd be like, what are you jealous about? I need to know what you're jealous about and get to the bottom and the nitty gritty.
That's right. That's right. Why are you jealous? We don't label
why? Yeah,
I ain't old bitch.
You're scratching my back, I'm scratching yours.
That's
what are you jealous about?
That's right. Why are you jealous?
Uh-huh.
And I was getting my back scratched by some other dude. Why? What are you worried about? Yeah. They text you every day. Still casual?
It's borderline now. Like, to me, I
think you should be able to kind of, the friends with benefits that I'm aware, like I know, you talk often, but not that often. Like, you're like, as often as you're horny, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Not like your homeboy type of talk.
No. Yeah. And even homeboys, like, I'm not talking to them every day. You find out they're seeing someone else. Are you allowed to care?
You shouldn't give a shit.
It's
a friends with benefits.
Now, if you find out they have another friends with benefits, and you find out that for every time they call you, they've called them another time.
Oh, ouch!
Yeah, ouch!
Ouch! I'd be
kind of hurt. I'd be like, oh, okay, damn.
I would feel that.
So that's why you only let me come over once every 2 weeks.
It's
a bi-weekly thing.
Yeah. Or like Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mondays and Wednesdays. Yeah. Yeah, I always wondered why I couldn't see Fridays.
Yeah, or like I'll never like on a Thursday. And when I try to call you on a Thursday, sorry, I'm busy. Every fucking Thursday, I'm busy. Yeah.
I was wondering when I called you what that slobbering noise was. You're basically dating, but they won't commit. Do you stay?
Basically dating.
And I'll add to that, and they ignore any chance to talk to them
about that conversation.
Mm-hmm. You're basically dating, but they won't commit.
I'd have to cut it.
You need to cut it. Cut it. One person catches feelings. Do you end it or explore it? Depends on who it is.
It depends.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it really for me would depend. I would think I would probably explore it. For the most part, I think I'm going to be honest.
I think so.
I think I would explore
it. Mean, if you're already doing that kind of stuff with somebody.
And if I'm already at ease and like we're cool with each other and we vibe and we make each other laugh and we're doing all those things, what more would it hurt to go that extra mile to actually try it out? Yeah.
Yeah, that's something interesting because like I don't know if I would partake in friends with benefits with somebody that I couldn't be in a relationship with. Which is an interesting thought.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, huh?
You're like, sorry, what did you just say?
Yeah, run it back.
Run it back. Sorry. Let me say it in the proper wording. Dating exclusive, yeah. And so that's those chaotic scenarios. So now I have rapid fire questions.
All right.
All right. So this is just general, like first answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
Friends with benefits, yes or no?
No.
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 Ever caught feelings?
Yes.
So you know all about it.
Yes.
Cuddling, allowed or dangerous?
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Can it work long term?
Yes.
Friends with benefits or situationship? You had to choose one.
Friends with benefits.
100%. Can it turn into a real relationship? Sure.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuddling's a weird one. It's enjoyable.
I like cuddling,
but it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Yeah,
It's
I
fucking
definitely love cuddling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm into that. I like that.
And to wrap it all up,
Mm-hmm.
friends with benefits isn't the problem. Unclear expectations are. Because most people don't actually want casual. They want closeness without commitment. And the moment you start mixing friend things with relationship things, you're not keeping it simple anymore. You're just fucking around.
Mm.
And see. Yes. Fuck. I mean, who wants to do that now? After that podcast, I'd be like, fuck that.
Yeah, right. I think we get a lot of guys saying, "Fuck yes!"
Okay, no, yeah, that's
what's
right.
your toxic channel?
That's right. Nathan,
Subscribe.
to my toxic. All right, boys, this is how you keep a girl and friends with benefits without ever elevating. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna play these subtle points. So you're gonna get her on wifey status without. No, I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like the problem is with friends with benefits, you get so intimately close with somebody that you totally, like, you see it like, okay, if I say this thing, boom, manipulated, done.
Yeah.
I have them.
Yeah.
But I won't go into that. That's for the toxic channel.
Oh, good Lord. You're part of the problem.
That's right. That's right. You want a rose crunched in your face? You can talk to me.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
And
So
then the
funny.
guys would be like, "Yo, Nathan, I got 3 for 3, man. 3 for 3.
3. The hacks, they work. And I'll be like, oh, you think that's good? Well, do you want to go 100 for 100? Buy my course. I'll teach you how to be a boss.
Oh my God. Yes.
That's so funny.
So we're curious to know, what do you guys think about friends with benefits?
Yeah, tell us your stories.
You like it? Is
you
it
like
easy?
it? You don't like it?
Yeah, is it easy for you guys? Do you enjoy it? Would you prefer that as opposed to a relationship? Have you always been in friends with benefits and never delved into anything else? Because you were just like, fuck that shit. I don't want to have to deal with all the other hassles and all the other problems that come out of it, right? So
yeah, tell us what you think. Tell us your opinion on it. Cuddling, allowed or dangerous? I'm curious.
I know.
I think that's a big one. I think that's probably like the gateway drug.
Yeah, because a lot of men will be like, "There's nothing wrong with that."
That's right. And they're like, oh, and that's where you're wrong, because that's where it all happens.
Yeah, because
That's the
that to
trap.
me, that's like emotions.
That's right. You're like,
yeah, you feel so nice.
I love you. You're like, whoa, what did you just say?
Nothing.
I just, nothing, just don't mind me. I said I rub you. Oh, okay, that's kind of weird, but sure. Shh. Don't speak. So yeah, tell us what you think, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Next week.
Bye.